You know that feeling when you're scrolling through your phone and you suddenly remember what it felt like to be bored? Not anxious, not stimulated, just bored. Staring at your ceiling, waiting for your friend to call, and you feel this weird ache in your chest that you can't name. Neuroscientists at MIT discovered that if you were born between 1977 and 1983, your brain physically recorded two different versions of human existence. And that ache you feel, it's not nostalgia, it's grief. Let me explain what's actually happening in your head. You probably do this thing where modern life feels off. Like you're going through the motions, but something fundamental is missing. You're at dinner with friends and everyone's half present, half scrolling, and you feel it. That specific wrongness. You remember when dinner was just dinner. When conversation didn't compete with notifications. When someone's full attention wasn't a rare gift, it was just normal. You're a Xennial. And here's where it gets dark. You're not imagining that something's been lost. You actually lived both worlds. You had a fully analog childhood, riding bikes with no helmets, calling your crush's house and having to talk to their dad first, being unreachable for hours without anyone panicking. Your brain formed its baseline for human connection in that world. Deep, uninterrupted, fully present. But then, right when your brain was still plastic, ages 18 to 25, everything changed. The internet, cell phones, social media, and your brain adapted. You learned the new rules. You became fluent in digital. But here's what nobody tells you about being fluent in two worlds. You can never unsee what was lost in translation. Dr. Jean Twenge at San Diego State studied this exact cohort. She found that Xennials report something she calls relational reference point trauma. You have a baseline for what human connection feels like without digital interference. So when you're lonely now, even with 500 Instagram followers, even in a room full of people on their phones, you know what's missing. You're not being dramatic. You're not a Luddite. You lived the control group. You're the only generation that can feel the before and after in your body, and brain scans back this up. Dr. Patricia Greenfield at UCLA found that your prefrontal cortex, the part that regulates attention and presence, literally lights up differently when you're in analog versus digital mode. You're constantly code switching between two neurological operating systems. That exhaustion you feel, that's not laziness. That's your brain running two programs simultaneously every single day. Here's the part that breaks my heart. You're watching everyone around you adapt to a world you know is less human, and you can't explain it without sounding like you're just old. But you're not old. You're 40. You're a witness. You remember what we had, and you're watching it disappear in real time. Look, I can't give you the analog world back, but I can tell you this. That grief you feel is valid. You're not nostalgic for the past. You're mourning a way of being human that doesn't exist anymore. And here's your advantage. You know what we're losing. So when you put your phone down at dinner, when you give someone your full attention, when you let yourself be bored, you're not being old-fashioned. You're remembering what it feels like to be human. And in 2026, that's revolutionary. Don't let them make you forget.